stop. Before you watch another video, before you scroll past this one, stop. I need you to listen carefully, because what I am about to share with you in the next hour is something that most people will live their entire lives without ever understanding. And because they never understand it, they suffer. They suffer in their relationships. They suffer in their careers. They suffer with people who lie to them, use them, betray them. They suffer because they cannot understand why other humans act the way they do. And the worst part? They blame themselves. They say, "Why am I always attracted to the wrong people? Why do I always get hurt? Why do friends turn into enemies? Why does love disappear? Why do I keep making the same mistakes?" The answer is not about you. The answer is about human nature. There are hidden laws invisible to most people that control almost every human being on this planet. How they think, how they feel, how they love, how they lie, how they hide their true self behind a smile. Once you see these laws, really see them, you can never go back. You will look at the people around you, and you will see straight through them. The mask falls away. The truth becomes clear. You will stop being manipulated. You will stop begging for love from people who do not deserve you. You will stop wasting years on the wrong friends, the wrong partners, the wrong dreams. You will finally understand why the world works the way it does and how to protect yourself and rise inside it. Tonight, I am going to share 18 of these laws with you. 18 powerful, sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes beautiful truths about how humans really behave. This is not a soft motivational talk. This is the truth. Raw, real, unforgettable. And here is the bonus, my friend. As you listen, you will be training your English at the same time. Your listening, your vocabulary, your understanding of deep ideas in simple, clear English. So stay with me all the way to the end. Because by the last law, Law 18, something inside you will be different. I promise. Let us begin. Before I start, I want to ask you for one small thing. If this video opens your eyes tonight even a little, please tap the red subscribe button. Just one tap. It is the smallest thing in the world. But for me, it means everything. Because I make these videos for people like you. People who want truth, not lies. People who want to grow. People who want to learn real English by listening to ideas that actually matter. If you subscribe, the next lesson will find you exactly when you need it most. And if you can, tap the like button too. It tells me to keep going. It tells me that real content still matters. That is all I ask. Now let me wake you up with law number 1. Law 1. People are not logical, they are emotional. Listen carefully, because this single law explains almost everything that goes wrong in your life. We all like to believe we are rational. We think we make smart decisions. We think we choose our partners carefully. We think we buy what we need. We think we are calm, mature, in control. But it is not true. We are not driven by logic. We are driven by emotions. Fear, jealousy, anger, ego, insecurity, desire. Let me ask you something. Have you ever bought something expensive not because you needed it, but because you wanted to feel better? To impress someone? To prove you were doing well? Have you ever sent an angry message and then, 10 minutes later, wished you could take it back? Have you ever stayed in a bad relationship not because it was good for you, but because you were afraid of being alone? That is irrationality. And here is the most dangerous part. You did not even know you were doing it. You created reasons. You told yourself stories. You convinced yourself it was logical. People do not see the world as it is. They see the world as they feel it. If someone is secretly insecure inside, they will read your confidence as arrogance. If someone is full of hidden anger, they will find a reason to attack you, even when you did nothing wrong. So, what is the answer? You must learn to see your own emotions clearly. Train yourself to pause, to wait. Before you react, ask yourself, am I responding to what is really happening? Or am I responding to my fear, my ego, my anger? Imagine this. Your friend does not reply to your message for 2 days. You start to feel ignored, unimportant, rejected. But what if they were just busy? Sick? Going through something you do not know about? Instead of jumping to conclusions, pause. Breathe. Wait. Respond with wisdom. Remember this, my friend. The most powerful people in the world are not the ones who control others. They are the ones who have learned to control themselves. Because, here is the rule, if you cannot control your emotions, someone else will use them to control you. Law 2. Everyone is a little narcissistic. Empathy is your superpower. When most people hear the word narcissism, they think of someone obsessed with themselves, always taking selfies, always needing praise, always making everything about them. But that is just the extreme. The truth is, every human being is a little narcissistic. Why? Because from the moment we are born, we are wired to think about ourselves, our needs, our pain, our dreams, our problems. Even when we are listening to someone else, our mind is often whispering, "When will it be my turn to speak? How does this story affect me? Are they paying attention to me?" That is everyday narcissism. We all do it. And here is the dangerous part. When two self-absorbed people try to talk, no one is really listening. Both people are waiting. Both people are thinking about themselves. Both people walk away feeling unheard. This is why so many relationships fail. This is why arguments never end. This is why leaders lose followers, lovers grow cold, and people feel invisible, even in a crowded room. So how do you rise above this? With one quiet superpower. Empathy, not fake kindness. Not pretending to care. Real empathy means stepping into another person's world, asking yourself, what are they really feeling right now? Why are they behaving this way? What is happening inside them that I cannot see? Let me give you an example. Someone shouts at you in public. Your first instinct is to shout back, to defend yourself, to protect your pride. But empathy whispers, wait, maybe they are not angry at me. Maybe they are angry at their own life. Maybe they have been carrying pain for years, and today, with me, it finally exploded. This does not mean you let people walk all over you. It means you see deeper. You stay calm while they lose control. You understand instead of judging. You influence instead of reacting. In a world full of people screaming, "Look at me," be the one who quietly says, "I see you." Because when you make someone feel truly seen, you gain a kind of power that no money, no degree, no beauty can ever buy. Law 3. Everyone is wearing a mask. Learn to see what is underneath. We live in a world of masks. From the time we are children, society teaches us, smile even when you are sad. Pretend to like your boss. Act confident even when you are falling apart inside. So as adults, most people go through life performing, not living. Someone in public might seem kind, gentle, soft-spoken, but behind closed doors, they might be cruel, cold, manipulative. Someone might act like the perfect partner, sweet, attentive, loving, but deep inside, they may be filled with jealousy, fear, hidden resentment. This law teaches you a powerful truth. What you see is rarely what is real. People become experts at hiding who they really are. They smile while they hate you. They compliment you while they secretly envy you. They agree with you only because they want to use you later. So how do you protect yourself? You learn to watch patterns, not performances. Watch how they treat people who cannot help them. The waiter at the restaurant, the cleaner at the office, the person on the street. How they treat the powerless tells you who they really are. Watch how they behave when they are tired, under pressure, stressed. That is when the mask slips. Watch how often their words match their actions. Words are cheap, actions tell the truth. Let me give you an example. Your coworker always praises you in front of everyone. They smile, they say nice things. But the day you actually succeed, the day you get the promotion, the win, the recognition, they go silent. No congratulations, No smile, just coldness. That silence is a sign. It tells you everything about who they truly are. Or imagine someone who keeps telling you, "I am the most honest person you will ever meet." But somehow, they always shift the blame, always have an excuse, always exaggerate their stories. That is not honesty, that is acting. Become a student of behavior, not of words. The goal is not to be suspicious of everyone. The goal is to see people clearly before you give them your trust, your love, your time. Because most pain in life does not come from people hurting us. It comes from believing their mask and missing the truth that was hiding underneath. Law 4. People repeat the same mistakes again and again. Look closely at most people's lives, and you will see something strange. They keep making the same mistake, over and over and over. They keep dating the same kind of toxic person, with a different face but the same story. They keep quitting their dreams the moment things get hard. They keep reacting with anger to every small problem. They are caught in a loop they cannot see because they are inside it. This law explains why. People are driven by deep patterns they do not even know they have. Patterns from childhood, from old pain, from wounds they have never healed. And instead of facing these patterns, they run from them. Until those same patterns slowly destroy their health, their relationships, their future. Let me give you an example. A man grows up feeling ignored by his parents. They were too busy, too tired, too distant. As an adult, he becomes obsessed with proving his worth. He overworks, he overspends, he overreacts, all to get the attention he never got as a child. But no matter how much he achieves, he still feels empty. That is a compulsive pattern. Or imagine a woman who was betrayed by someone she loved. Years ago, the pain was so deep, she never fully healed. Now, every time she starts to trust a new person, she pulls away. She finds small reasons to fight. She destroys the relationship before it can hurt her, not because the new person is bad, but because she is repeating an old pattern of fear. So how do you break free? You observe your own life, without judgment, without shame. Ask yourself, what patterns keep showing up in my life? What do I keep doing even when I know it hurts me? What am I really running from? Stop blaming the world. Start decoding your own history. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awareness. Because the moment you see the pattern, really see it, you have the power to break it. And when you break a toxic pattern, you do not just heal yourself. You heal your future, your relationships, even the children who may one day come after you. That is how powerful awareness is. Law 5. People do not want what they need. They want what they cannot have. Here is one of the strangest truths about being human. People do not chase what is good for them. They chase what is just out of reach. Why? Because desire is not about logic. Desire is about mystery, about distance, about fantasy. People do not crave what they fully understand. They crave what they cannot fully have. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that someone starts liking you more the moment you pull away? Or that a product suddenly feels more valuable the moment it says sold out? Or that people chase the one who treats them coldly while ignoring the one who actually loves them? That is not love. That is not intelligence. That is the human mind being hypnotized by what it cannot fully possess. This law is everywhere. In marketing, limited edition products sell out faster, even when they are no better than regular products. In dating, the person who plays mysterious gets more attention than the one who is open. In careers, the job that seems just barely out of reach becomes the obsession. And here is the dark side. Once people finally get what they were chasing, they often lose interest. Because it was never about the thing itself. It was about the chase. The illusion, the fantasy. So how do you use this law wisely? First, do not be too available all the time. If you give everything your time, your energy, your love, without any space, people will stop valuing it. Second, create a little mystery. Let people wonder. Let them wait, just a little. Not to manipulate them, but to protect your energy and to create healthy balance. And third, watch yourself. Most importantly, watch yourself. When you find yourself chasing something, anything, pause and ask, am I chasing this because it is right for me? Or am I chasing it just because it is out of reach? True maturity is choosing the healthy thing over the exciting thing. It is loving the person who brings you peace, not the one who brings you chaos. It is building a life that is real, not just one that looks good from the outside. Once you understand this law, you will stop wasting years of your life chasing illusions, and you will finally start choosing what truly nourishes your soul. Law 6. People focus only on today. That is why they destroy tomorrow. Look around you. People want everything fast. Success fast. Love fast. Money fast. Results fast. They make decisions for this moment, without thinking about how those decisions will shape the next year, or the next 10 years, or the rest of their life. This law says most people sacrifice the long term for the short term. They want comfort now, even when that comfort brings suffering later. Let me give you an example. Someone knows they should save money, but they see a new phone, a new outfit, a new gadget. They feel the pull. They buy it. Not because they need it, but because they want it right now. Later, when rent is due, when an emergency comes, when their car breaks down, they panic. Why? Because they chose today's pleasure over tomorrow's peace. Or imagine a person in a relationship. They get bored. They feel a moment of temptation. They cheat. In that moment, it feels exciting, alive. But 2 weeks later, guilt, shame, breakup, loneliness, a life that takes years to rebuild. That is the price of short-sightedness. This pattern is everywhere. People quit working out after 1 week because results did not come fast enough. People give up on their dreams because the road is taking too long. People stay up late scrolling on their phone knowing they will feel terrible in the morning. The world today shouts, live in the moment. Do what makes you happy right now. But that advice, if you misunderstand it, is dangerous. True growth comes from thinking in the long term. Ask yourself, how will this decision affect me 1 year from now? Am I avoiding a small discomfort today at the cost of huge peace tomorrow? Will I be proud of this choice when I look back? Anyone can live for the moment, but only a few have the strength to build for the future. And those few, they become unshakable. Law 7. People resist change even when they need it. Have you ever tried to give someone honest advice and watch them get angry at you for it? Have you ever tried to help a friend grow and watch them push you away? That is defensiveness, and it is one of the deepest forces in human nature. Humans are not naturally open to change. In fact, most people defend their pain more than they defend their peace. Why? Because change feels like a threat. It means stepping into the unknown. It means admitting, maybe I was wrong, maybe I did not know better, maybe I have to grow. That is hard for the ego to accept. Let me show you. Think of someone who is always negative, always complaining. You gently say, maybe try to focus on solutions instead of problems. And they snap back, oh, so now I am the problem? They are not angry because you are wrong. They are angry because you are right. And it touched a place inside them that they did not want exposed. Or think of someone who refuses to learn new skills at work, even though their industry is changing, even though their job is at risk. They keep saying, I have always done it this way. They are not lazy. They are scared. Scared of failing. Scared of looking stupid. Scared of being a beginner again. And here is the hardest part of this law, my friend. It applies to you too. Ask yourself, honestly, do I get defensive when someone challenges me? Do I reject new ideas just because they are unfamiliar? Do I secretly fear growth because it means letting go of the old me? If you do, you are not weak. You are human. The key is to recognize it. The most powerful people in the world are not the ones who never make mistakes. They are the ones who can hear hard truths, stay calm, and quietly say, maybe this is my chance to grow. When you drop your defenses, you do not lose your strength. You gain something much greater. Wisdom. Law 8. People destroy their own success without even knowing it. This is one of the most painful laws because it is so real. So many people are not destroyed by their enemies. They are destroyed by themselves, by their own mind, their own habits, their own secret fear of success. You have probably seen this, maybe even in yourself. Someone finally starts eating healthy, and then on day 5, they eat everything in sight. Someone finally finds peace, and then they call their toxic ex just to talk. Someone finally starts their dream business and then suddenly stops working on it. They say, "I just lost motivation." Why does this happen? Because deep down, they do not believe they deserve success. They are addicted to chaos, addicted to failure, addicted to proving the old story they have been telling themselves for years. I am not good enough. I always ruin things. I do not deserve a beautiful life. That story becomes a prison they built themselves. And every time they get close to escaping, they pull themselves back inside. Let me give you an example. A man grows up with parents who never appreciated him. Whatever he did, it was never enough. As an adult, he chases achievements to feel worthy. He gets a good job. He starts earning money. But now, every small failure feels like an attack on his entire identity. The pressure grows, the fear grows, and quietly, without realizing it, he starts slowing down, delaying tasks, avoiding opportunities, until he is right back where he started. That is self-sabotage. And the saddest part is he did not even know he was doing it. He told himself, "I just lost interest. I was not really ready. Something did not feel right." But deep down, he was afraid of becoming powerful. So how do you break this? You must change the story underneath. Ask yourself, what do I believe about myself that keeps me small? What fear comes up when I start to succeed? Who told me, long ago, that I was not good enough, and why am I still listening to them? Then start telling yourself a new story. I am not my past. I am not my pain. I am not my fear. Start small. Keep tiny promises to yourself. Forgive your past self for what they did not know. Show your future self that finally they are safe in your own hands. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to stop getting in your own way. Law 9. Whatever you hide will one day control you. Almost every person you meet is carrying a quiet storm inside them. Anger that was never spoken. Sadness that was never faced. Shame that was buried years ago and never let out. Instead of healing this pain, most people hide it. They say, "I am fine. It does not matter anymore. That was a long time ago." But the truth is this: hidden emotions do not disappear. They transform. They become sudden explosions over tiny things. They become cold silence toward people who do not deserve it. They become fear of intimacy, jealousy that poisons relationships, self-hatred hiding behind perfectionism. Let me give you 2 examples. A woman was abandoned by her father when she was a child. She never talked about it. She buried the pain. She told herself, "I am strong. I do not need him." Years later, every time a man gets close to her, she pushes him away. She cannot trust. She cannot stay. Every relationship ends the same way, and she wonders why love never lasts. That is repression. Or a man who was bullied as a boy. He never spoke about the pain. As an adult, he becomes obsessed with winning. He always needs to be the best. Always needs to prove himself. He is not ambitious. He is still trying to silence the voice inside him that, long ago, told him, "You are weak." This law teaches a hard truth. Any emotion you refuse to face will find another way to control you. In your body, your sleep, your work, your relationships, your dreams. So, what is the answer? Face the pain. Slowly, gently, without shame. Sit with it. Talk about it. Write about it. Tell someone you trust, or just tell yourself, out loud, "Yes, that hurt me. Yes, I carried it for a long time. And now I am ready to set it down." Healing is not weakness. Healing is the most powerful act of self-respect there is. The emotionally strongest people in the world are not the ones who never cry. They are the ones who cried healed and stood up stronger than before. Law 10. People envy you in silence, and it can quietly destroy you. This is one of the most uncomfortable truths in life, but you need to hear it. When you grow, when you succeed, when you start to shine, not everyone will clap for you. In fact, some people will smile to your face and secretly pray for your fall. And the scariest part? It is not always strangers. Sometimes it is a close friend, a colleague, a cousin, even someone you once helped. Because envy hides in familiar faces. Here is what makes envy so dangerous. It almost never speaks out loud. People do not say, "I am jealous of you." Instead, they act. They suddenly become cold, distant. They start being critical of small things. They minimize your success. They say, "Oh, you just got lucky." They copy what you do and then try to do it better, just to prove a point. Let me give you an example. You start working hard. You wake up earlier. You exercise. You read. You improve your life. And suddenly an old friend starts mocking you. They call you too serious. They say, "When did you get so boring?" But the truth is, your growth reminds them of their own stagnation. And rather than face that, they try to pull you back down. Or you finally buy something nice. A car, a new home, a small luxury after years of saving. Instead of being happy for you, someone says, "Must be nice." That is not a compliment. That is envy wearing a smile. So how do you protect yourself? First, stop trying to please everyone. You are not responsible for how your success makes other people feel. You can be kind, but you do not have to shrink. Second, watch people's energy, not just their words. If someone cannot celebrate your wins without turning it into a quiet competition, protect your space from them. And third, look inside yourself. We all feel envy sometimes. The key is what you do with it. When you feel envy rising, do not deny it, transform it. Instead of asking, "Why do they have that?" ask, "What can I learn from their journey? How can I use this as fuel to build my own path?" When you turn envy into admiration, you grow. When you let envy turn into bitterness, you fall. Choose growth. Every time. Law 11. Success can blind you. Stay grounded. This law is a warning for the winners, for the climbers, for the dreamers who are finally rising. Because here is a secret danger of success. It can make you believe you are untouchable. When things start going well, your mind starts to whisper, "I have figured it out. Everything I do will work. I do not need to listen to anyone anymore." You stop taking advice. You take bigger risks with less thought. You become addicted to praise, to attention, to status, and quietly, without even noticing, you become your own greatest enemy. Let me give you an example. A young entrepreneur builds a successful company. He becomes famous, respected, admired. But suddenly, every suggestion from his team feels like an attack on his ego. He stops learning. He only wants to be praised. He makes bold moves without preparation. And one by one, the cracks appear. A year later, collapse. Why? Because his early success made him believe he was invincible. Or an artist who suddenly becomes popular. Instead of staying focused on the craft, on the slow, beautiful work of getting better, they start chasing fame. They stop practicing, stop learning, stop listening to honest feedback. Their work gets lazy. The fans drift away. And they do not even notice the warning signs because the applause is too loud to hear them. That is grandiosity. It is one of the most silent killers of greatness. So, how do you avoid it? First, always return to humility. Remind yourself, even on your best days, I am still learning. I am still growing. I do not know everything. Second, surround yourself with people who will tell you the truth, not people who only tell you what you want to hear. And third, never confuse confidence with arrogance. Confidence says, "I believe in my ability." Arrogance says, I can never be wrong. The higher you rise, the more important it becomes to stay grounded. Because the strongest mountain in the world is not the one that rises fastest. It is the one that stays rooted no matter how violent the storm. Law 12. People are trapped by narrow ideas of who they should be. Step beyond them. From the moment you are born, the world begins to train you. If you are a boy, they say, be strong. Do not cry. Be tough. Be aggressive. If you are a girl, they say, be sweet. Be quiet. Be soft. Do not be too loud. These messages sound small. But over time, they build invisible prisons. A boy who is told never to cry becomes a man who cannot open up, even when his heart is breaking. A girl who is told to stay quiet becomes a woman who cannot speak up, even when she is being disrespected. This law reveals something powerful. Every human being carries both kinds of energy inside them. A part that is strong, direct, action-focused, and a part that is gentle, intuitive, emotionally deep. We need both to live fully, to be whole. But here is the trap. Most people are taught to cut off half of themselves just to be accepted by society. Let me give you an example. A man grows up being told that emotion is weakness. So he builds a life around work, logic, achievement, avoiding anything soft. On the outside, he looks successful, but inside he is emotionally frozen. He cannot connect with his wife. He cannot comfort his children. He cannot understand his own sadness, not because he is a bad person, but because he was never given permission to access his softer side, or a woman who is naturally bold. Ambitious, outspoken. People around her say, "You are too much. You should be more feminine. Tone it down." So she shrinks. She pretends to be less than she is. She smiles when she wants to scream. She sacrifices her power just to be accepted. This is the trap. And the way out is simple but radical. Reclaim both sides of yourself. If you are naturally strong, start embracing your softness. If you are naturally gentle, develop your inner power. Stop asking, "What am I allowed to be?" Start asking, "What part of myself have I ignored, and how do I bring it back home?" When you stop living in the box that society built for you, you do not lose yourself. You finally meet yourself. For the first time, Law 13. Without a clear purpose, life becomes wandering. Look around you. So many people are busy scrolling, busy talking, busy moving from one task to another, from one weekend to another, from one year to another, but deep down they are lost. This law reveals a hard truth. Being busy is not the same as having purpose. Movement is not the same as progress. Most people do what others expect of them. They study what their parents tell them to study. They take jobs they secretly hate. They chase money, attention, validation, but inside, they feel empty because they do not know why they are doing any of it. Let me show you. A man spends 10 years climbing the corporate ladder. He finally becomes a manager. He buys a beautiful house, a nice car. He earns respect. But one night, he sits alone in his living room and realizes, "I do not even like what I do. I do not know who I am anymore." That is aimlessness wearing a successful suit, or a woman who keeps changing careers. Every 2 years, a new path. She tells everyone, "I get bored easily." But the truth is, she is afraid to fully commit to anything. Because if she truly commits, and it does not work out, she will have to face the deepest question: who am I really? This law does not mean you need to have your entire future figured out by tomorrow. It means you need a direction, a reason, a why behind your actions. How do you find it? Ask yourself these quiet questions. What would I still do even if no one ever clapped for me? What kind of pain am I willing to endure for something bigger than myself? What breaks my heart in this world? And what part of it could I help fix? Purpose does not always shout. Sometimes purpose whispers. You just have to get quiet enough to finally hear it. Without purpose, your time slips through your fingers like water. With purpose, even the painful moments become powerful. Law 14. Most people follow the crowd. Even when the crowd is wrong, we are social creatures, my friend. We want to belong, to be accepted, to be part of something. This is a beautiful human need, but it can become a dangerous trap, because in our desire to belong, we often abandon ourselves. This law says people would rather be wrong with the crowd than right alone. You have seen this. Someone starts dressing a certain way not because they love it, but because everyone else does it. Someone pretends to enjoy something just to fit in at the party. Someone stays silent when something is wrong because everyone else is silent too. Let me give you an example. A teenager joins a group of friends who mock other people to look cool. At first, it makes him uncomfortable. He does not really want to be cruel, but day by day, he joins in. Not because he believes it is right, but because he is afraid of being left out. Years later, he looks back and realizes he became someone he never wanted to be. Or a woman with a dream. She wants to start her own business. She has the talent, the vision, the fire. But everyone around her says, just play it safe, get a stable job. Why would you take such a risk? So she lets the dream die. Not because it was impossible, but because she did not want to be seen as different. This is the quiet power of conformity. It kills individuality without a single shout. So how do you break free? First, build deep self-respect. Believe that your voice matters, even if no one in the room agrees with you. Second, spend time alone. Learn to make decisions without needing approval from others. And third, change your question. Stop asking, what will they think of me? Start asking, will I respect myself after I do this? Greatness does not come from fitting in. Greatness comes from standing out with integrity, even when it is hard. The crowd is loud, but your soul is wiser. Follow your soul. Law 15. People's loyalty is temporary. Do not depend on praise. At some point in your life, if it has not happened already, you will experience this. Someone praises you today and ignores you tomorrow. Someone supports you when you are struggling and resents you when you succeed. Someone says, I will always be here for you, and then disappears the moment things get hard. This law reveals a painful truth about human emotions. People's feelings are unstable. What they feel today may be completely different from what they feel tomorrow. Let me give you an example. You help someone when they are at their lowest. You give them money, time, advice, love. They call you their best friend. They promise they will never forget what you did. But months later, when their life improves, they stop calling. They stop replying. The friendship quietly fades. You start asking yourself, what did I do wrong? You feel betrayed, confused. But here is what really happened. They did not change because they were evil. They changed because most people live inside their current emotion, not their memory. When they were down, they felt grateful, so they acted loyal. Now they are up, and that old grateful feeling has faded. That is the law of fickleness. Another example, you are doing great in life, winning, growing, people love you. Then one day you make a mistake, you take a break, you stumble. Suddenly the applause stops, the likes drop, the friends vanish. Why? Because most of them did not love you. They loved the version of you that benefited them. So how do you live with this hard truth? You stop depending on praise to feel worthy. You stop relying on attention to feel seen. You start building your sense of self from within. If someone praises you, appreciate it, but do not cling to it. If someone criticizes you, examine it honestly, but do not collapse under it. Your worth does not rise and fall with other people's moods, because real people, the ones who are truly meant for your life, do not come and go with the seasons. And those who do come and go, let them go. That is not your loss. That is your freedom. Law 16. Some people hide their anger behind smiles. Learn to see it. Not every enemy raises their voice. Some enemies smile, shake your hand, and quietly plan your fall. Aggression is not always loud. In fact, the most dangerous aggression is often quiet, subtle, hidden behind sweetness. This law teaches you that humans carry emotions they do not know how to express, especially anger. And when they cannot express it directly, they bury it. And then it leaks out sideways, indirectly. Let me give you an example. You share exciting news with someone. "I just got promoted." They smile. They say, "Oh wow, that is nice." But you feel a coldness underneath their words. Something is off. Later, you find out they have been gossiping about you, questioning whether you really deserved it. That is passive aggression. It hides behind politeness, but it poisons the air. Or imagine a colleague who somehow always forgets to include you in important meetings, important emails, important decisions. Every time you ask, they say, "Oh, I am so sorry. It was just an accident." But it keeps happening. Again and again. That is not forgetfulness. That is a quiet war fought by someone too afraid to fight it openly. So how do you handle this? First, stop expecting people to always show their true emotions. Many will not. They may not even know what they are feeling. Instead, learn to read energy, tone, patterns. Listen for what is not being said. Second, when you sense passive aggression, do not respond with aggression of your own. Respond with calm clarity. Say things like, "Something feels off. Do you want to talk about it?" Or, "I notice this keeps happening. Can we be honest with each other about what is going on?" Most people will not be ready for that level of honesty. They may even deny everything. But by speaking calmly and clearly, you protect your peace. And third, do not ignore the signs. If someone constantly throws small insults at you, makes you feel uncomfortable, competes with you in quiet, secret ways, you do not need to prove anything. You do not need to argue. You just need to protect your space, quietly, firmly, because real power is not shouting the loudest. Real power is staying grounded while other people try to shake your peace. Law 17. People are shaped by the time they were born in. Most never see it. This is one of the most invisible, yet most powerful forces in your life. You are not just shaped by your parents, by your school, by your choices. You are shaped by your generation, by the time you were born into, the culture that raised you, the technology you grew up with, the fears your society carried. And most people do not even realize how deeply it has shaped them. Let me show you. Imagine someone born in a time of peace and economic success. They naturally come to believe that comfort, safety, and enjoyment are basic rights. Anything difficult feels wrong. Now imagine someone born during a war or a deep financial crisis. For them, life feels different. Survival, hard work, caution. These are not optional, they are everyday values. Now put these two people in the same room, same workplace, same family. Even, they will misunderstand each other constantly, not because one is good and the other is bad, but because they are looking at the world through completely different lenses. This is generational myopia. People confuse the truths of their time with absolute truths. Let me give you another example. A young man today is obsessed with going viral online. He believes likes, followers, and attention define his worth. But he does not realize this mindset did not even exist 25 years ago. And imagine him 30 years from now, when social media has faded, replaced by something we cannot yet imagine. All of his self-worth collapses. Because it was never built on something real. It was borrowed from the era he happened to live in. So how do you escape this blindness? You start by becoming aware of it. Ask yourself, honestly, are my beliefs truly mine? Or are they just the beliefs of my time? If I had been born 100 years ago, would I think this way? Am I chasing what my generation worships and forgetting timeless values like wisdom, patience, discipline, real connection? Your generation is like a wave. You can ride it, or you can drown in it. The strongest minds know how to live in their time but think beyond it. Law 18. Most people live as if they will never die. That is why they waste their life. This is the final law, and the most important, so please, listen carefully. You wake up, you scroll your phone, you rush through your day. You stress about small, forgettable things, as if life has promised you unlimited time. But here is the truth that almost no one wants to speak out loud. You are going to die. Maybe in 50 years, maybe in 10, maybe next year, maybe tomorrow, no one knows. But one thing is absolutely certain. Every heartbeat, every single one, is bringing you one beat closer to your final moment. And yet most people live as if they are immortal. They delay their dreams, they hold on to old grudges, they chase shallow things and ignore the deep ones. They wait for the right time to finally start living. But that right time never comes, and then suddenly it is too late. This law explains the deepest problem of human life. We deny the one truth that could make us live with full intensity. The truth of our own ending. Let me give you an example, a heartbreaking one. A man spends his entire life chasing success. He builds wealth, a beautiful house, recognition. He sacrifices everything for it, his health, his family, his peace. Then one day at 60, the doctor tells him, "It is terminal. There is nothing more we can do." He sits alone in his hospital bed. He looks at his hands, and he whispers, "I thought I had more time. I thought I could fix everything later. But time did not wait for me." Or imagine a woman full of talent. She loves to paint. She dreams of travel. She has stories she wants to write. But every time she thinks about starting, fear holds her back. Maybe next year. I am not ready yet. Next year becomes 5 years, then 10, then 20. And one day, the chance is simply gone. She did not run out of talent. She ran out of time. Most people fear death because they have not truly lived. They have not spoken their truth. They have not loved fully. They have not used their voice, their gifts, their heart. They die with everything still inside them, never given to the world. So what is the answer? Not to fear death, but to use it as fuel. When you truly remember that you are going to die, you start to say, "I love you" more. You forgive faster. You create without waiting for permission. You stop wasting time on people and things that drain you. You stop staying in places that kill your spirit. You stop waiting to be chosen. You finally choose yourself, because now you understand something deep. Death is not the enemy of life. Living a fake life that is the enemy. Every time you look away from death, you waste a little more of your one precious life. Every time you remember death, you wake up to it. And when you live like that, fully, awake, present, you stop being afraid of the end. Because you know when the end comes, you will not just have existed. You will have truly, truly lived. So, there they are. The 18 laws of human nature. You did not just listen to a video, my friend. You faced something most people spend their entire lives avoiding. You looked into the mirror. You saw how people lie behind smiles, how success can blind you, how envy poisons even close relationships, how the pain we never speak about becomes the pain that controls us, how most people live asleep, waiting, wandering, wasting time, and now you are no longer most people. Now you can see through the masks. Now you understand that the world is not waiting for you to be ready. The world is waiting for you to wake up. Wake up to your power. Wake up to your emotions. Wake up to your purpose. Wake up to your voice. Wake up to your one short, precious time on this earth. This was never just a list of laws. This was a mirror. And if you were brave enough to truly look, you will never be the same person you were when you press play on this video. If this video moved you tonight, if even one of these laws made you stop and rethink your life, your habits, your direction, please do these small things for me. Tap the like button so I know this message reached your heart. Leave a comment below and tell me which law shook you the most. Just one word, the number of the law. So I know. and subscribe to this channel. And turn on the bell because we are on a journey together. A journey of seeing the world clearly. A journey of becoming awake. A journey of learning real English by learning real truth. I make these videos for you. For the ones who are tired of being asleep. For the ones who are ready to see clearly. For the ones who refuse to waste another year of their life. If you want more videos like this, videos that improve your English and wake up your mind at the same time, then this is your home. Subscribe and stay with me. This is not the end of your journey. This is your beginning. Let this be the moment you stopped living on autopilot and started living consciously, powerfully, fearlessly. Because you only get one life. My friend, do not waste it pretending to be someone else. Be the real you, fully, before it is too late. Thank you for watching. Now go out there and live the life that most people never will.